capital city of Onitsha comes Udala Radio 104.7 FM, the voice of the region, where authentic news and entertainment meet. Udala Radio 104.7 FM, seriously authentic.
When politics unfolds, when decisions are made, we reveal the impact. Welcome to the Polity, your deep dive into the forces shaping governance, policies, and power. From the halls of government.
You were there. I was not there. Check the record. Wait now. I was not there.
To the voices of the people.
We are suffering. This suffering is too much. It's too much. Look at the students. There's no job. In filling school, there's no job for them.
We analyze the undercurrents, expose the intrigues, and break down the narratives that define our democracy. Dr. Tony Olisanbeki delivering razor-sharp analysis, and Ibuka Franklin and Chisom on the question wheel, driving the conversation. We bring you the most compelling discussions on governance, policies, and power plays. Stay informed, stay engaged, stay ahead. The Polity, every weekdays at 9:15 a.m. Exclusive on Udala 104.7 FM Onitsha.
Okay, it's 9:16 a.m. and I must say it's a beautiful morning in the city of Onitsha, the home of Udala Radio 104.7 FM. It's the 18th day of March 2026, of Thursday, and I must say that the weather seems cool when compared to what it was yesterday. We were expecting rain yesterday, but it didn't happen that very way. There was there were showers somewhere, but in some places they didn't get to have that very experience. But all the same, it was able to calm down the atmosphere. At least it's a bit cooler this very morning compared to what it was yesterday, because yesterday afternoon was quite pretty hot and people were sweating profusely. So that tells you that rainy season is around the corner. And of course, if we're going to get ready for the rainy season, we have to ensure that those blocked drainages, those things we had neglected, we have to begin to clear them now, so that when the rains come, they will have a free passage and will not bring down any building or mess up the environment. So I hope we're going to take this very message seriously and begin to work towards that very one. So we are saying welcome to the Polity today, 18th day of March 2026, and we're glad to have you join us today on our news and current affairs program that looks at headlines on various newspapers and then making analysis on the topical development. We are glad to have you this morning. My name is Franklin Ebuka. Good morning, Tony.
Good morning to you, Franklin Ebuka. Good morning, Nigerians. Good morning, the good people of Southeast. Good morning, the Anambra. Good morning, the Onitsha Donidu. Good morning, the Osumohu. Good morning, the Olwaka, the Nkuzi, the Oloyibo, the Nanye Fonyinya, the traders, the businessmen, our people, our community members, everyone, the good people of God, no to Christy. Wherever you are listening to us from, it's always a pleasure to attend to you and also to be here for you. And we welcome our brothers from different states: Enugu, Abia, Imo, Ebonyi, Anambra States, Imo States, and even beyond the southeast, the entire south, the entire southwest, north central, northeast, north west as well. Everyone, even our brothers in diaspora, we may not go on to call all the places we know we have our brothers. You're welcome to this epochal episode of the Polity, and where we tell you the truth, nothing but the truth. Is Yopunkana Kolomiri. That's what we are here. And we always profess the truth, uphold it, and preserve it as well. We thank God Almighty for His mercy, for His love, for His kindness, for all He has been doing for us. We are so much glad, very thankful, and we welcome you all to this program.
Okay, so that was Tony Sambeki on the analysis desk. He's going to lead us on today's analysis as usual. Just to remind you that it's our anniversary month, because Udala Radio came on air on the 21st of March 2025, and we are clocking that complete 1 year. And of course, we are glad to know that you have always been there for us. So we are celebrating this anniversary with you. That's why we have lined up activities to ensure that we get you involved. Of course, we have seen the community health outreach that we carried out in two selected hospitals. I talk about other things we've been doing, and this very morning, some staff members are already at some places in Onitsha to help in control of traffic, in partnership with the FRSC and the ATMA. So if you see any of us on the road doing that, of course, you get to know that it's part of our corporate social responsibility. Of course, we are going to have a road activation campaign that should be tomorrow around the DMG's roundabout in Onitsha and also at the main market area. So you are going to see all these things. We have our official in-house anniversary that is going to be on Saturday and other things. So we are glad to know that you are always there for us, and we can't thank you enough. So we're saying thank you for being there, and thank you for sticking around. For this very morning program, you can watch us live on our Facebook page, Udala Radio 104.7 FM. If you want to check on YouTube and Instagram, we are Udala Radio on these very platforms. And Tony, before we get to the headlines, could I say that I was shocked yesterday about what happened in football?
Oh, yeah.
Yesterday I was following Champions League matches. At a point in time, I said, let me go to X and see how people were reacting to that rocket goal scored by Berechese in Arsenal's 2-0 win against Bayer Leverkusen. Only for me to bump into the Twitter account of CAF and saw their notice that the 2025 AFCON title, which was given or awarded to Senegal, is been retrieved, and now Morocco has been pronounced as the winner of 2025 AFCON by a CAF appeal board. And I was stunned. I tried to take my mind to history to know whether if we have had anything like that before. I couldn't comprehend, but I was able to pick a scenario. I think that was I can't remember the exact year, but that was in club football where there was a similar scenario, and CAF did what it did now. Then when it got to the CAC, it was overturned. I tried to look at the rules of the football, and I got to find out that when you have a match going on, referee has the final say. If anything happens in any match and referee decides that the match should go on, at the end of the day the outcome is decided, and referee says this person won based on the result, it is final. But CAF has done different things this time around, and guess what? Nigeria is now in the mix because the person heading the appeal board is a Nigerian. Talking about Justice Rolly Daibo Harriman. So Tony, that thing yesterday from CAF, how does it sit?
Well, we are really quite shocked yesterday, just like you explained. Africa will always give you that drama. Africa is a dramatic continent. Most times what is happening in Nigeria is a reflection of what is going on in Africa as a continent. Nigeria is a microcosm of Africa as a microcosm. So we've seen this from time to time. Even the final, it was a total embarrassment, a sham. Most times we do see things like this during the South America football. We've seen that, but they have grown from that. People were wondering, why would Senegalese players, because of a penalty call, walked out of the pitch, disrupted the game, and even signaled that they won't be playing? Their coach was very instrumental to such call. He led the players out of the pitch. In fact, I saw the coach, the Senegalese coach, he was signaling the players to come out of the pitch. We saw that as embarrassment, as a mockery of football, as a way of showing that Africa will never grow. Because for them, once we are not treated well, you can decide to disrupt everything without following either the appeal channel or other channels that one can seek redress. Having said that, they were able to go back to the pitch and continue the game, which they eventually won. We saw how the talisman of the Moroccan team missed that penalty. Now the question is, after 3 months, or close to 3 months, if care is not taken, after 3 months, there was such a decision. That decision is not just injustice, it's purely bias. I know why CAF did what it did. Morocco has been number one supporter of football events, especially handled by CAF. Every event handled by CAF in Morocco. I looked around and saw how much they spent. Most times, some countries, they will bid for either football hosting, CAF championship, either the male or female part of it, but they may have one struggle or the other. CAF has always relied on Morocco. If you dig deep, Morocco was not supposed to even host this tournament. It's as a result of those who could not do it. Morocco has always been responsive to CAF call. Each time CAF calls, Morocco will be there to answer. But what do they gain in all these that have been given to CAF? Look at how many stadia they built, how they upgraded the ones built already. They spent millions of dollars to make such event. And we saw officiating in that tournament was not as it should be. We've seen some referees, either through CAF control system, they were giving Morocco some favorable decisions. That was why they were able to get to the final. And we saw what the balls we are doing. The Mendy, the goalkeeper, the Senegalese goalkeeper, we saw each time he wanted to the towel, he would use this to cleanse the ball for whatever reasons. We saw what they were doing. And they were hostile to an extent. To an extent. So the point I'm trying to make is, CAF is, I wouldn't say, in an unholy marriage with Morocco. What they did was a way to placate Morocco. Probably Morocco may have seen everything and said, CAF, be on your lane. Don't call us again. Let us go and, in fact, whip our own whip. As they do say in Nigerian parlance, let's go and whip our own whip. Don't call on us anytime you have any event. We have other 54 countries or 53 countries, because Africa has about 54 countries. We have about other 53 countries. So we are not the only country in Africa. When was the last time Nigeria hosted such competition? When was the last time Ghana did? When was the last time Cameroon did? So you can imagine, it has always been either Morocco, Tunisia, most times, I don't know, Egypt. These are countries willing, but the truth remains, CAF should find a way to raise revenue and make this tournament to be attractive, to be very and intensely commercial. There must be a way to drive this tournament, to sustain it, and there would also be a way to give back to those who must have spent so much in organizing this tournament, so that they will not see it as they are doing it free for you. And probably other favorable decisions, especially during the football. CAF has done what Nigerians would call ojoro. Yes, what we had expected would be a situation where Senegal will be given heavy fine. Fine them. Some players that did what they did, give them suspension.
Tony, if you recall the days of Maradona, that called so-called hand of God. Even after it was discovered, but for the fact that the match had been decided by the referee, you cannot reverse what had happened. So I'm just wondering where this very board of appeal, CAF appeal board, I don't know where the law they're trying to rely on to do this, in as much as they try to reference some particular articles in CAF rules. But looking at what the general law that governs football, you keep on wondering where this is coming from. Now, look at the board members of this very appeal board. Like I mentioned, the Nigerian Justice Rolly Daibo Harriman, he's the president. Faustino Varela is the vice president from Cape Verde. We have Ben Nasri from Tunisia as a member, Moses Ikanga from Namibia as a member, and Hamoud Bobe from Mauritania as a member, and then you have another member from Djibouti, Togo, Malawi, and DR Congo. So 9 members of this very committee sat and decided on this, and then CAF has announced this. And people are asking questions regarding if CAF president, the South African, talking about Patrice Motsepe, whether he's still fit to continue as CAF president, because recently I learned that some football federations in Africa were asking him to leave, that he has overspent his welcome.
Well, I know very well that if you go by, just like you said, both FIFA disciplinary code and also Confederation of African Football statutes and disciplinary code, if you look at where a final match result can be overturned, I know very well that they have rules to that. Fielding an ineligible player, which many Nigerians thought that the Congo DR fielded an ineligible player, hoping that CAF overturns the final result so that Nigeria will go to World Cup. You remember that expectation, but that issue, well, I don't know if it has been decided, but we have been told that it has been decided, it has been rested. CAF and then football authorities can overturn final match results if one of the teams fielded an ineligible player, or if there was clear case of manipulation or corruption or serious officiating error affecting the outcome. But that one has been settled by VAR. Even doping, where it was saying that somebody was on drug, and also breach of other competition regulations. But we've not seen what happened in the case of Senegal and Morocco. CAF is basing its judgment based on breach of competition regulations. That's what they are basing for overturning this result. And if you go by FIFA, and FIFA will tell you that if a team is found responsible for serious infringement, the match may be declared forfeited and awarded to the opposing team. Is there in the case of FIFA rules? So that's exactly what CAF did yesterday. They said that the match between Morocco and Senegal, according to CAF, has been declared forfeited and awarded to the opposing team, in this case Morocco, and 3-0 forfeit ruling. That's exactly what they did. They said that it is in line with FIFA rule, is in line with the Confederation of African Football statutes and disciplinary rules. So they have not done anything different. But just like we said, we've not seen such disruption. They said that there was complete and serious breach of competition regulations where some things worked out and came back.
Because in my understanding of football, for a match to be declared abandoned or forfeited, it rests on the referee, and the law says that the referee must allow a reasonable amount of time to see if the match can restart. If he cannot restart it, then he can go ahead and declare that the match cannot. Now the match has been abandoned, and then the 3 points will be awarded, or victory will be awarded to the other side of this very the other side in that very competition. But look at where we find ourselves. Maybe, let's see, because I know that Senegal is going to go to CAS, of course, to launch an appeal, and let's see how CAS is going to handle this. Whether it's going to be a replica of what happened many years ago when Esperance of Tunisia was involved in similar situation.
Just like you said, Senegal, of course, they have a channel to seek redress. I'm aware that most match result being overturned, there was a Bolivia case, just like you mentioned, a Bolivia case, and it was Bolivia fielding an ineligible player, and it was their match against Chile and that of Peru. The results were overturned, but the Court of Administration for Sports upheld FIFA decision. It has happened where Bolivia fielded ineligible player, then their continental football body overturned the match result where they forfeited the match against Chile and also Peru. They went to CAS and in fact, even FIFA upheld that. So there was such a situation. If you look at football, maybe league football, we've seen that with Legia Warsaw, a Polish club, and then Celtic of Scotland. But in their own case, it was player registration error. Result was overturned. But in the case of a continental competition, because if you look at some of the cases we're citing either qualification, a match. We are talking about a competition won and decided with celebration, with everything. People who played in that very competition, many of them have dusted their boot, moved on, and referee report would also influence it, just like you keep citing. Referee allow for the match to resume, and the referee concluded the match. Because if you look at the ones we are citing, ineligible player, referee couldn't have known. I don't know if you are following me, Franklin.
Yes.
Referee, because it's not within his jurisdiction to know if a player was eligible or not, or registration error. Because these things are matters outside the field of play. You understand why they were overturned, because referee was not in the know, was not aware. But in this case, referee was aware. Referee was in the know. He oversaw everything. He concluded the game, and then he pronounced somebody as winner, and everything done. So it's a different case from the ones we've seen before. They have a window to secret dress.
Let me just make reference to this very law 5, talking about referee. He says this section 5.1 says he's talking about the authority of referee. It says each match is controlled by a referee who has full authority to enforce the laws of the game in connection with the match. Then 5.2 says decisions will be made to the best of the referee's ability according to the laws of the game and the spirit of the game, and will be based on the opinion of the referee, who has the discretion to take appropriate action within the framework of the laws of the game. The decisions of the referee regarding facts connected with play, including whether or not a goal is scored, and the result of the match, are final. The decisions of the referee and all other match officials must always be respected. Okay, so we read this very case at this point in time, so that we have to get to tell you what the headlines are saying this very morning. Stay with us. By the way, this story is also on the headlines on the front page. Stay with us.
You're listening to the Polity. Get involved now.
Okay, thank you for staying tuned to that radio 104.7 FM. It's 9:37 a.m. and you are listening to the Polity. My name is Franklin Ebukandam with Tony Olisambeki this very morning on the program. We have a 4 newspapers for us to look at the headlines: Daily Sun, Vanguard, The Punch, and the Guardian newspapers. And we begin with the headlines we have on Daily Sun. The big story there says, Borno terrorist attack, police confirmed 23 dead, 108 injured. The riders include PDP ADC Obindume condemned Tinubu. President vows country will not succumb to fear. Direct security chiefs to go after attackers. That story can be found on page 6 of Daily Sun. Quit office before March 31st. Tinubu orders appointees with political ambition. That story is on page 8. Kaduna bandits threaten to kill 32 abductees if 30 million naira ransom is not paid. Another story on the front page says Soludo sworn in for second term, promises to do more for Anambra. That story is on page 20. It has a rider Shatima, Obasanjo, Jonathan, others attend inauguration. On page 5, you will see DSS arrest suspected gun runner in Cross Rivers with 832 live ammunition. Another story says FG urges oil industry operations, or rather FG urges oil industry operators to accelerate short-term production gains on page 20. I have issues with Oyetola, not Tinubu, Adeleke. The story is on page 8. If you read some versions, they will tell you that Adeleke said he's going to work for President Tinubu while in Accord Party. Okay, so these are the headlines we have on Daily Sun. We move to Vanguard to see the headlines. The big story there says Maiduguri explosions, survivors recount ordeals, service chiefs relocate to Borno on page 5. It has some riders I heard a loud sound and my neck began bleeding. Victim recounts. 23 dead, 108 injured in multiple suicide attacks, says Borno Police Command. Terrorists deploying multiple suicide bombers into Maiduguri Army. Tinubu condemns attack, asks security chiefs to relocate to Maiduguri. Northern governors Ndume condemn attack, call for urgent action. Then we go over to page 10 of Vanguard, where we have this one that says Keyamo orders probe into Akure Airport intrusion. Eid al-Fitr, FG declares tomorrow, Friday, public holidays on page 6. On page 8, we have this one that says Middle East crisis, U.S. counter-terrorism director resigns over Iran war. And the writer says Iran's national security chief orders die in Israeli strikes. The man who resigned from CTU in U.S., he said the war in Iran is needless. He was saying that it was Israel that influenced U.S. to go into that very war that is happening now in Iran. 1.16 million students benefit from 206 billion naira fund loans on page 30. 2027 reside by March 31st. Tinubu orders appointees seeking elective offices. That's on page 26 of Vanguard newspaper. We go to the above the nameplate of Vanguard. A couple of headlines there. One of them says Nigeria's oil output drops 9% to 1.43 million barrels per day. That story is on page 19. Terrorists threaten to kill 32 abducted Kaduna villagers over 30 million naira ransom on page 7. Tinubu's UK visit spurs investment deals, job creation on page 8. No judge has power to order lawyer to kneel in court, NBA on page 9. Perhaps I not only saw the press statement from NBA condemning the action which was taken by a judge, where because a lawyer raised his voice in the courtroom, she asked him to kneel down. That was the class card on there. Well, so that's the story there. So let's get over to the Punch newspaper and see the headline there. But French chiefs move into Maiduguri on page 2. It has riders. Nigeria won't succumb to terror. Tinubu vows as 23 killed, 108 injured. Governors condemn bombings, demand action. Police clear blast site. Families search for missing relatives. It's a story there. Nigeria secures 746 million pounds UK deal to modernize ports on page 22. Mobad, family's lawyer questions lab capacity for DNA testing on pages 4 and 5. How long is this going to last? This Mobad saga, ever since he died, the issue of a DNA, do DNA or not do DNA, it has nothing concrete has come out of it, and every day it keeps surfacing on the pages of newspapers. This one says hardship, labor pushes 154,000 naira minimum wage on page 7. Refineries spend 5.7 trillion naira on foreign oil despite naira for crude policy on page 14. Somebody will tell you that now ni fedin our refineries the car, yeah, or the car and annual nenunku. Because each day things keep on coming. You keep on asking yourself, why are things like this actually existing in that very oil company? And this one says 2027 Tinubu minister seeking office get March 31st resignation deadline on page 12. Eid al-Fitr, security on high alert nationwide after Borno blast. FG declares holidays. Sultan asks Muslims to observe moon. That story is on page 14. And we have to cross over to the last paper we have this morning. So the last paper we have this morning is The Guardian, and the big story there says electricity consumers worry as 16 states falter on decentralization. The story is on page 6. Another one says 2027 Northern Group mark decry APC's stifling of opposition, abrupt economic policies. The story is on page 3. Middle East, WFP wants 10.4 million risk hunger in West Central Africa on page 3. FGE marks 73.4 billion naira for TB drugs. Others as WHO urges more funding on page 3. CAF strips Senegal of 2025 AFCON title, declares Morocco champions on page 28. Nelfond disburses 206 billion to 1.16 million students in about 2 years on page 30. Borno explosions, troops warn of fresh attacks in northeast as casualty toll rises. This says Tinubu directs appointees seeking elected offices to resign by March 31 on page 5. Southeast youths urge Tinubu to address rising cost of living on page 29. And the last story we're going to take this very morning on the front pages says El Rufai sues ICPC over alleged plot to make him politically irrelevant on page 30 of the Guardian newspaper. Stay with us. We're going to begin with the analysis.
You're listening to the Polity. Get involved now.
Okay, thank you for staying tuned to the Light Radio 104.7 FM. It's 9:46 a.m. and you're listening to the Polity. My name is Frank Nebukanda with the Tony Sambeki this very morning. Our Facebook page is already live, so you can get on that very page, drop your comment there, and also get to watch proceedings from any part of the world, wherever you are. Udala Radio 104.7 FM. You can as well check us out on YouTube and on Instagram at Udala Radio. And don't forget that if you want to listen again to this very program, we normally have a repeat broadcast of the program by 2 a.m. So 2 a.m. you'll be able to listen to it again in case you want to listen again or you miss any part of this very conversation. So Tony, let's talk about Anambra, because yesterday was the inauguration of the governor of Anambra State and the deputy for second term, and we saw a retinue of dignitaries who came to Anambra State for that. I saw the governor of Abia State, Okezi Bazo. He was at the lighthouse. I saw deputy governor of some southeast state. They all were around. They came. Former presidents, Goodluck Jonathan, Olusegun Obasanjo, they were there. Vice President Kashin Shettima, he was there. Onyo Ife, he was there. Hausa community, just mentioned them. They were all there to witness this very swearing in of Mr. Governor for second term. At the end of the day, the governor delivered a speech. That speech lasted 4 to 30 minutes. And he was even saying that he was trying to, do a bridge version of that very speech. That tells you that he had a lot to say before his August visitors. Before we get to the big issue, Tony, we learned that during parade that about 8 security personnel collapsed while they were doing the parade. We also learned that a 74-year-old woman, gave the governor a gift of a fowl, saying that it was proceeds from 100,000 naira he gave to her sometime. So she invested in poultry, and she brought him the proceed. And then some other things that happened that we are going to look into. But all these should I say side attraction, let me put that very way. Do they speak to anything, Tony?
Well, I think if you ask if they speak to anything, they speak to so many things. If you ask me, these things are not just symbolisms or symbols. These things are there for records. You are talking about the woman who gifted the governor with a male cock or a cock, and the case may be because we call it cock. Cock means a male species. Are you gonna talk about other things? I was there yesterday, so I saw things myself. I wouldn't want to be told any of the stories. So we saw the swearing in. It was a big occasion, and I recall in the governor's remarks or speech, he did say that 4 years ago, when he was sworn in, it was not as elaborate as it were in this case. It was something organized at the old Governor's Lodge with few dignitaries, less than 50, that were invited, where they hurriedly got to work because of the humongous tax before the government at that time. They started the work at Okpoko because it was one of the campaign promises. Remember, just like the other day, we were talking about what he inherited and what he has been able to do or what he has been able to achieve. We saw Anambra State totally dislodged, not because of the failure of the past government, but because of the situation of things as at that time. Situations where the unknown government have seized 7 local government or even 8. They were building their camps, holding the state to ransom. The state was under siege when the governor, when he was doing the campaign. Some of his orderlies were killed. They were attacked at his hometown in Sofia when they had come for a town hall meeting. You remember that situation? But these things are stories. These things are things we will look back and say, oh, look at where we were and look at where we are coming from. Yes, you talk about the dignitaries. Look at Anambra State attracting this array of dignitaries. You mentioned them. Some of us saw Obasanjo in his 80s. Goodluck Jonathan was there. Kachim Chetima, the vice president, was there. I saw Ngige. I saw Veggie Etiaba. I saw Chief Emeka Sepodo. I saw so many people capped in the Anambra Jidibiri. Even those who came from far and wide. Alex Oti was there. In fact, Alex Oti came, he was going around the governor's lodge and the lighthouse. And you know what he said? That he has seen wonders. He's going back to Abia State and do something. Because Abia State, as we speak now, they don't have government house. The one built by Ibazu was abandoned by Alex Oti, who felt that it was not well positioned and it doesn't look more like a government house. If you, anybody that goes into that government house, just like I said the other time, we don't have such government house in the entire country. Quote me. That government house is better than Aso Rock. That government house in Anambra State. Well, some would tell you, what is the government house all about? Is it not governor and his people and all that? Just like a typical Igbo man, you can't be anything without having a proper OB. Because your OB is where, more like your seat of power, where decisions are made, where you receive guests, you receive visitors, dignitaries, things are attended to. The way your OB looks is a mirror of how your home is. That's why a typical Igbo man will always make sure that his OB is well taken care of. They don't joke with that. So you wouldn't blame such philosophy or ideology in our own case. But that's, by the way, it's just a very big sprawling space with over 57 structures, amphitheater, clinics, everything you can think of. These things are there. Obasanjo saw wonders. Many of them that came were saying, our eyes, I was there. Our eyes, most of these things we have not seen. Jonathan was there. Emeka Yoko, from many of them, but I saw this Prophet Ebukobi.
Yes, he was there.
He was there too.
Even Senator Uche was also there.
Finiko was there, but she was quiet. Yeah. That is a sign of after the rain comes what?
There comes the shine, of course.
That is it. Politics has gone, and I must commend Uche for coming. Not just her alone. I saw others from opposition, but one man I didn't see P2B. But I was told that he was properly invited. With others, past governors, we are there. But Anambra State past governor, everybody. Because everybody, the idea is not to come and celebrate the governor. Celebrating where Anambra is. And I'm happy people have seen things themselves. You know what? People have gone on to crusade what I've been saying. They will say, Anthony, why do you always talk about Governor Soludo? You don't like this man. And I'm talking about somebody and he's doing work. That tells you I'm doing my work.
Okay, so Tony, let's finish what I said, know, or the openness to Akoko now, before we now get to the big issue. You know, I talked about the file gift, and then people who collapsed there, which is issue about, fitness and what have you not. So that one taken. Then let's talk about some questions people are asking on the social media. One, they said the event was elaborate and it was in contrast to the statement the governor made in his inaugural speech when he won the first term, that he talked about, frugality, not spending public fund lavishly. But what they saw yesterday was a lavish event. They talked about, the delicacies served. They said, governor said he's going to be local delicacies in, every Anambra event. But they saw continental dishes and what have you not. And because they were all out there in the social media. And then the last thing they were also raised on social media is, they said the governor failed to recognize FM Onitsha, who was seated there. So let's talk about all these things before we now get to the big issues.
Well, let me address some of these things because I was there. If you are talking about Anambra events, are you going to serve Obasanjo and most of these guys that don't eat your local delicacies? Are you going to serve them those delicacies? You have friends across different parts of the country and outside the country. When you hear continental, it means for everybody. But if we go for our state function meant for the Anambra, it should be our local delicacies. Ede, G, and Akide. These are our local delicacies. The way we prepare them. If you prepare things like this alone, not that these things were not prepared, but you can't just prepare just those things, because there are those who may not be able to eat it. Somebody like Obasanjo, if he eats Akide with Ogiri, he may start purging. Or even Jonathan, they may start purging immediately because their body system is not used to, accustomed to such kind of thing. That is one. Then you talked about elaborate events. Do we have anything to celebrate? If you can't go to where there is burial going on and you put on a celebration. If you are doing burial, you are doing burial. If you are celebrating, if a child is born, like a man gets married to a woman, no matter how they try to put it, it's a celebration. During the last 4 years, it was like a burial because of the state of things in the state. The state was disjointed. The state was shattered, was shambolic over a number of things that played out that period. And there was never a time you could imagine putting up any celebration. It was no celebration. But this time around, do we have anything to celebrate with all these works governor has done with his governance model and philosophy, which many governors are studying? Many of them are considering and also putting that into action in their respective states. We have got so much to celebrate as we speak. In one of the inaugural speech, the governor said before he leaves office, the second airport will be delivered with the sprawling city around it. There will be another city. Remember, we've been talking about Oka, Onitsha, Ekwulobia, Nnewi, and now around that Aguleze Chukwu. There is going to be another city, which the airport, or which will surround the airport. And the governor said, you know what? That another space will be kept for this time around the third airport, but it will be for future generation. Do you see the aim? Do you see the plan? And before the end of these 4 years, these cities will be connected by rails. You see, don't you think that if you want to go to work, I don't need to worry about some of these transport companies. You just go to a train station, you get into the train, before you know it, you are in Oka, from Oka to Nnewi, from Nnewi to Ekwulobia, in such a square set or a square movement. Is it not wonders? You've got some things like that in Lagos, like they will call it blue rail, red rail, yellow rail, but we know Lagos is a metropolitan state and it covers some arteries of Lagos, not everywhere.
So is Anambra that vast to have like 3 airports serving one state?
Yes, you asked that very question. I remember when Willie Obiano wanted to put this airport, they criticized him. This very one, Umwe Airport, they criticize him. I don't want to mention those who criticize, and those who criticize him started making use of the airport. And I said, are you looking at the future? Are you looking at where the state will be in the next 5, 10? You must be visionary. You are not calculating what is going on. You are not calculating based on present. You are looking at where the state would be. The world is going into AI. Technology is going to rule the world. Are you ready? We've been told in 2035, fossil fuel will phase out electric vehicles. Because we know very well that by the time these things will be phasing out, the entire world will be dumping these fossil vehicles here in Nigeria and other African countries. And they will mean nothing. And the fuel will lose its value. A lot of things will happen. Are you ready? Are you planning about this? What are measures you are putting in place? Most times, one thing about African leaders, they don't think about the future. This man is telling you where the future is, what the future will be like. You must get ready. You must be prepared for it. Some will tell you, we must be alive today to think of the future. Is somebody who is not just mentally lazy or intellectually lazy that will tell you that you must start preparing for your future. That's why you see a man will have 2 sons, or you know what the man does? He goes to buy lands and then tie it to the sons, and even purchase 2 lands. One, these lands will be sold to take charge of these children. Their training in school. It's part of planning, because the man is preparing for what will be. But these children in question, they are still 2, 3. But look at the man, he has started imagining what 10 years, 15 years, 20 years will be for these kids, and he is getting ready to put everything in place to make sure that once they get to that place, they will not have anything to suffer. Right. That is planning, and that's what the government is trying to do, trying to tell you where Anambra State will be. Anambra State must be a competitive state. That is why most time when I speak highly of him, if there are things he's not doing, you won't see me. People have spoken about, they are performers. Check my trajectory. People are spoken about. They are performers. I don't speak about you if you don't perform, if you're not doing anything. I'm glad that people have shown such love. Most times they say you like governor, you talk so much about governor, you love him so much. Is he a performer?
Okay, so now we have a commercial break for us to attend. Once we return, we'll talk about the political angle to what happened yesterday, and then we close it and move to other things. But on the issue of the dishes served, somebody could argue that since you have people coming from different backgrounds, it could have been an opportunity for you to do cultural marketing, because it happens everywhere. Yeah. So let's go for this very commercial break. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Udala Radio 104.7 FM.
Onitsha, ndị nwe ahịa, nke a bụ ụzọ anyị si asị unu daalụ maka ọmarịcha otu afọ nke nzikọrịta ozi. Udala Radio dị otu afọ n'ọnwa Maachị a. N'ọnwa Maachị a niile, Udala nwere onyinye pụrụ iche maka ịgba afọ ọhụrụ a. Ịzụta advert slot 2, inwe otu mgbakwunye onyinye n'efu. Ịnụrụ nke ọma, ohere nke mgbasa ozi ahịa, ozi ọbụla maọbụ nke program, ịkwụ ụgwọ, nweta ohere 2, anyị agbakwunyere gị otu. Nke a bụ ohere ị nwere ime ka ndị Ọnịcha n'obodo ndị ọzọ nụ ma mara maka ahịa gị. Gbata ọsọ ozugbo n'ihi ohere ọpụrụ iche a malitere ugbu a ma bụrụ nke ga-abịa n'isi njedebe n'ụbọchị nke 31 n'ọnwa Maachị nke afọ a, n'ọnwa mgbakwunye afọ Udala. Maka ndebanya na ajụjụ, kpọọ anyị na 0803 350 4206 maọbụ ịbịa n'ụlọ ọrụ anyị dị n'Ọnịcha na na number 5 Okono Street na Okirikiri DMGS roundabout. Nya bụ inwe ike ịkpọ anyị na 08033504206 ma ọ bụ ịbịa n'ụlọ ọrụ anyị na number 5 Okono Street na Okirikiri DMGS roundabout Onitsha. Udala Radio emeela otu afọ n'ọnwa Maachị a. Ọkpọkọpi n'ezie. The board, management and entire staff of Anambra State Housing Development Corporation, ASHDC, Oka, warmly congratulate His Excellency Professor Chukwuma Charles Soludo, CFR, Oluwatuegu, and his deputy, Dr. Onyekachukwu Ibezim, on their inauguration for a second tenure in office. This well-deserved mandate reflects the confidence of Anambra in your visionary leadership and commitment to the transformation of our state. As a key agency in housing and urban development, ASHDC proudly aligns with your vision of building a livable and prosperous homeland for all. We reaffirm our loyalty and dedication to supporting your administration's development agenda. We pray that God grants you wisdom, strength, and good health as you continue to lead Anambra State to greater heights. Congratulations once again, Your Excellency. Signed, Chike Anyono, Managing Director for Anambra State Housing Development Corporation, ASHDC, Oka.
Udala Radio 104.7 FM. Seriously authentic.
You're listening to the Polity. Get involved now.
Okay, thank you once more for staying tuned to Udala Radio 104.7 FM. It's 6 minutes past 10 a.m. My name is Franklin Ebekanda with Tony Disambeki, and he's been responding to questions. Before that very break, we're talking about the inauguration of the second term of the government of Anambra State, and lots of things have come up, and we've been able to talk about a couple of them. So, Tony, the other part I talked about is the political part of it, where the governor during his address, he made lots of things, and most of them, or most of the things he said, were on the need for people of the Southeast to come together, unite, have a collective purpose, and that purpose is to see how they can use their votes to negotiate and become part of the sharing in Nigeria. And some persons are finding fault in that, saying that he is throwing the Southeast under the bus because Southeast has one of its own sons who is in the race to contest for the presidency. But Mr. President is saying, Mr. God is saying, sit down, do a calculation, analyze things, and use your vote to negotiate to get what you want.
Well, I have made a position known on this, and my position is still consistent. We have to be everywhere. We cannot put all our eggs in one basket, is my position. Situation, what happens to the basket will be at the other side. Will be treated not as second-class citizens, but third-class citizens because of the kind of politics we played. That's why I said we must be everywhere. Yes, if our own becomes fantastic, but if it does not, what happens? That's why I said we should be there and there. We should be everywhere, is my position. And if the governor says the need for us to negotiate power, situation where we do not get that, we must be able to negotiate power. That's why there are those who should be there to support the other candidate. Situation where if he wins, we'll be able to negotiate something. We must always equip ourselves with advantage. Let's not be in the position of disadvantage. If you are heading anywhere in this life, if you're on a journey, I've seen most roads, they have two-way traffics. There you will see the lane moving up, you see the lane going down, and that tells you what life is all about. There is this, he was saying that and you cannot if you do not work for it. You must work for it. If you look at the kind of politics we have played in the past, when other Nigerians realigned with APC. That was in 2015. We did not. Most Nigerians that were in PDP then, and we are also in APC, most regions maintained balance. Most regions maintained balance in different proportions. We had no balance. We put everything in one basket. Jonathan or this, Jonathan or that. And under Buhari's 8 years, we were relegated. We've not seen this since 19. In fact, after the war, the first democratic system we had after the war was 1979 election. Guess who were on the ballot? If not for the kind of politics we played in 1979, the list equipment would not have been chosen as a running mate to Chewu Chegare. People that were defeated in the war. Look at the politics we played. We were everywhere. I've said this many times. Zeke was in MPP doing his thing, even when we knew that the founder of MPP formed GMPP. Let's not talk about the story. And we had so many of our brothers who were with him. We had likes of Alex Ekweme, Sisiono, Shubokadibo, even Dean Chukweme called Imego Ojuku. They were in MPN, the ruling party. Zeke was well loved by the Southeast. The one Southeasterner that was well loved politically was Zeke, but not every Southeasterner was with him in his own MPP. They were also in the ruling party, NMPN, Kanabo Party in Dawsa. Yes, they were there. What happened? Zeke couldn't win. You can imagine if all of us were with Zeke in MPP and they failed to win. Do you think Alex Ekwebe will be vice president? Do you think even Ezoke would have been the speaker? Remember, Ezoke was in Zeke's party, MPP. But we were able to negotiate the speakership. How? See, you must always find a way to put yourself in a position of advantage. That's the point. If you try to narrow your chance, when you start, don't blame anybody. Don't say Nigeria is wicked. This country, they hate us. This country, look at them. They couldn't give us anything. What was the kind of politics you played? Politics is a game of interest. Anywhere, I've studied politics in UK, I've studied politics in US. Most times, some of these things that happen here do happen there. Look at Trump. Most of his appointees were those that worked for him during election. UK's Prime Minister, Keir Starmer. Look at those he appointed in different positions as secretaries or people that were close to him. If you go to any country, it's mostly the same. It might not really be exactly the same. That is politics. They play politics of anything, but they don't play politics of the stomach infrastructure. They don't play it because they have outgrown that. They don't have that kind of poverty start we have here.
Okay, totally. Just hold on. Like we told you that this is our month of anniversary, and we have a couple of things lined up for this very anniversary. We told you earlier that this very morning that our team will be at some places for traffic control in collaboration with FRSC and ATMA. And I have somebody online now for us to speak with. Yes, hello.
Yes, hello, Franklin. Good morning.
Yes, Chisom, good morning.
We are presently at Burami roundabout. We have been at the bridgehead and also Owerri Road. We can report a free flow of traffic at every point that we have been at this morning. And thanks to ATMA and road safety officials on ground, we have ensured that there is no traffic congestion in the areas mentioned.
So what has been the experience being a traffic warder today?
It's been exciting, I promise. It's been exciting. Getting to do the work of the Lord, I'm saying.
Okay.
So good, and everyone is here. A shout out to Michael, Chinyeromiko, Odipu Debwe, Oyedika Chuku Ilodibe, GM, Florida Brown, Lillian, Iojugana Waleze. Kaspa is here as well.
Okay.
And that's about it. That's all we have from the Udala team on the field as we speak.
Now, one thing I know is that even if all of you are small to be seen, somebody is going to see you on your logo.
What are you trying to say?
I didn't say anything. All right.
Thank you, sir.
All right, you sneaking all. Okay, so that's a report from the place where we have our staff members who are there trying to help to ensure that there is a free flow of traffic as part of what we owe the society. So, Tony, we have to wrap up this very conversation on a number so that we can, get into other things. You said that people who were at that very event, some persons were invited, they didn't show up, but they sent message.
Yeah, exactly. Of course, I'm aware that P2B sent message. He sent his congratulatory message, but it was not there. Physically, of course, we saw Ebukobi, who was there presently, and then amazingly, some people were trying to hold him. He was pulling crowd. There were people that wanted to jump on him. If not for security, they would have jumped on him. I don't know if he's turning into the Messiah. I don't know. I'm not saying that, but people have this passion and love for him, and that Ebukobi so much love Soludo. If you ask him, he will tell you, because the man is a performer, that he has seen some of the things he's doing and the works he has done. Only in Nigeria, only one state has free education from primary 1 to SS3. There is no other state. Even when it is believed that there is universal basic education rule says from primary 1 to JSS3, that's where the rule stops. But the governor extended it to SS3 with the plans to see how university will be accommodated. No other state. There is no. In fact, if you go to Lagos, you have free antenatal. Free antenatal and all that. But in Anambra, it was extended to cesarean section. Yes, there are places in Lagos free delivery and no doubt. But if it has to do with operation, there are some levies you will have to pay. But in Anambra State, it's open.
All right. So
you can go on and talk about these things.
Let's talk about what happened. This headline is about NBA condemning judge's conduct of asking a lawyer to kneel down in court. I didn't finish that very story when I was doing but the thing is this. I know a lawyer known as Marshall. He came to represent Omoyele Sowore in a case, and in the course of the court process, he raised his voice, and the judge didn't find it funny and asked him to kneel down. And the NBA is also not finding funny, because NBA has responded saying that the judge was overreaching her powers. Tony.
Well, it is one of the wonders we keep seeing in Nigeria: abuse of power. There are people that arrogate unto themselves the powers of God. If men were God, I keep saying this. And the case in view, the case you cited, reminds all of us that anything in this life is transient, and know how to use power if you've got one. There are those that when they are in power, they will not show their power. Their power, they will have to show it by working, not by trying to show that I am this, I am that. There are people, if you have anything with them, do you know the next thing they will ask, do you know who I am? Do you know who you are talking to, my dear? And I have always said it. So it was a case of anomaly by the judge. Possibly we may forgive the judge. Probably he may have acted without knowing, but I guess he must be reminded of his judicial oaths, asking the very young man to kneel down in court. Justice Muhammad Omar asking Marshal Abubakar, counsel to Omoyele Sowore, to kneel down in court. Of course, Marshal refused, stating that it is not recognized under Nigerian law for him as a counsel to Omoyele Sowore to kneel down. because we know very well this issue of kneeling down is public humiliation, corporal punishment. You can even sue the judge for human rights infringement if he can go on. But the truth remains that there are two contents in courts, and of course which courts or judges do act on. Many lawyers listening to me, of course, they are aware of this matter I want to talk about. And if you talk about there are contents that happen before the judge, and you would not tell the judge not to act. And there are the ones that happens outside the courts, and the ones that happens outside the courts, you will not tell the judge not to also act. Of course, if it happens before the court, the judge has to also respect the principle of fair hearing. No matter, he must accord a person to explain why he did what he did, because it was something that happened before the judge. Yes, it happened before the judge. So the judge has to give the person who he wants to either convict on contents to explain why he did what he did or why she did what she did. And we don't see that happen yesterday. It was a burst of emotion, as we usually call it. It was, we've seen most people disobeying court order, and you will see those who feel that the judgment is on their side. They will file contempt proceedings against those people before a competent court, and it will be something that will be decided even before the court rules on that contempt. The other party must be invited for them to also show cause why they will not be committed to prison, because once you are being convicted of contempt, you are committed to prison.
No, but the act by the lawyer, speaking on top of his voice, is it permissible in court?
It is not part of court proceedings. That's why I said, if the judge deem it to be a contempt, we call it in facie cure. In facie cure, in defense of the court, like insulting the judge or disrupting proceeding. The judge cannot act summarily. He cannot act summarily. The person must be informed of his misconduct. That's the way it should go. The person must be informed of his misconduct, given a chance to explain or apologize. It's when he's given a chance, one, he must have informed him of his misconduct, give him chance to explain or apologize, and he did not utilize that. Now the court can rule and commit him to prison. Yes, there is another one we called ex facie cure. That is indirect contempt. I've talked about it. This happens outside the court, like disobeying a court order, publishing material that interferes with justice, and all that. Of course, there will be formal charge, there will be evidence, there will be right to defense and all that before the judge can also rule on that. But in the case of in facie cure, direct contempt, the one that happens inside the court, you must be given a chance to explain or even to apologize. You must be informed of your misconduct. And just like I said, here in Nigeria, everything goes. You understand? Everything goes. The judge has no right to tell anybody in court, I'll commit you to prison, because either the person is interrupting the proceeding or making remarks it doesn't like, or using their phones. I see situation where some people be using their phones. You hear the judge tell those who are using their phone that you will commit them, or he will commit them to prison. You don't make such statement. It's an abuse of office. The person must be informed that you don't do this here. Situations where you'll be given chance to explain why you're doing what you're doing, or even apologize before making rulings on that. So we must abide by whatever we say is our law. We must abide by them.
Okay, so we're going to look at another development, which is the visit of Mr. President to UK, because if you check some headlines, you will see that they are trying to draw up what they believe that Nigeria stands to gain from this. And one of the headlines is questioning about 700 something million pounds that Nigeria stands to gain in trade. But some persons are thinking that because there were bomb blasts in Maiduguri, that Mr. President should have considered shelving that very visit. Tony, do you think so?
Well, if you look at the visit, it had already been planned, because same president last minute they will cancel visit as a result of internal issues to attend to, some things happening in the house. But bombing here has been a common scenario. It's not something uncommon. Killings, bombing, maiming, these things are common here. And you don't expect the president who has been seeing this for a long time to cancel a visit. But we know very well the lives of your citizens are more important than any visit given and must be accepted. The lives of your citizens more important than any visit. For situations where it is a common scenario, and at times where even if you had shelved the visit, it wouldn't have stopped it. And there are times where you may have subordinates like vice president or those who work with him who could also attend to those things. You may forgive him for that, because he has those he can call on and address this, see to this. And even if he were to be in the country, he may not really be there presently. He may delegate it. He has power to delegate. Even in the constitution is there. The president can delegate. So the issue is, we have seen Mr. President, and I saw the governor of Lagos State posting yesterday that he received Mr. President at Fairmont Hotel. Fairmont Hotel is somewhere in Windsor.
Now you mentioned Lagos State Governor, because I also saw that. But Nigerians are asking questions about what our leaders do. That Mr. President is going to UK for a state visit, and the governor of a state left Lagos State on public fund, got to London just to welcome president, or just to welcome the president to UK. They were asking, these things they do, is it part of the governance, or they're these people that are trying to take Nigeria for granted?
Well, the governor of Lagos State is trying to show how loyal he is. What he's doing is political, but that's not the way it should be. And I won't sit down here and tell you that there is nothing wrong with what he has done. I won't sit down here. You can't just say that. For me, you must know how you use public fund, and it must be for the interest of the public. Public funds must be for the interest of the public. He said he arrived some days before that period, either to receive Mr. President. Are you supposed to receive Mr. President? Are you the host? Are you part of the? If you are part of the trip, it's a different thing. If you are part of the itinerary, it's a different thing. But you arrive some days to receive Mr. President, to a governor of the most populous state in this country, and you left your office, you left your duty post, and then you went to receive Mr. President. For me, it is condemnable. It's not something we can, for one reason, say yes, he did right. He didn't do right. I know he's trying to show Mr. President how truly he loves, because his term will be I think ending by 2027. Yes, 2027, and maybe he's technically shopping for the next position if Mr. President wins. That's what they're doing. These things are political. I don't think he's the only one who is guilty of that. Search deep. There could be others. And you know very well that Mr. President put him in that position. He becomes the governor, or he became the governor as a result of Mr. President. In fact, he had picked him when he fell out with Ambode, the former governor. And we've seen him delivering on what Mr. President must have instructed him. But this time around, he's trying to extend it beyond the ordinary and to what he's doing now. I've just said many times that, well, let's forget about Sanwo-Olu because of what he did, and there could be others that may have done that. But the most important thing is we've got to talk about the visit and what the country stands to gain from that visit. Many Nigerians are concerned about what the country stands to gain. And I recall there are those that felt that, or there are those that say that they would orchestrate protests in UK. But you know what the UK government did? They placed so many parts of where Mr. President will be coming to. They put in a no-fly zone. You can't even fly there. They block roads, their major roads. UK. Sometimes some of us will say, can you come to UK where you see a road blocked because a prime minister is passing, we do ask that question. But from what we've seen now, they close the roads, put some space area, they put no fly zone because of this visit. Possibly they know very well that if they don't take such security measures, there could be security breach, and there could be reason why they are doing what they are doing. Well, we know very well that the visit at the invitation of King Charles III and Queen Camilla definitely will focus on strengthening bilateral ties in trade, investment, defense, security, migration, cultural exchange, and port infrastructure. That's what we are told. The bilateral trade between Nigeria and UK currently stand at about 8.1 billion pounds annually. That's the trade volume between Nigeria and the UK. And we know that there will be signing of multiple memoranda of understanding, and we also expect the witnessing of about 746 million pounds UK export finance deal, UKEF deal, for the refurbishment of Lagos Port Complex Apapa. My own is why Lagos, why Apapa, why Tinkan Island? Because the deal that will be signed between Nigerian president and UK authorities will be for the refurbishment of Lagos Port Complex, the Apapa Quays, and then Tinkan Island ports. And we are looking at those who follow Mr. President. You look at Oluremi Tinubu followed him, Godswill Akpabio followed him, the Attorney General of the Federation, Lateef Fagbemi, followed Mr. President. The Minister of Solid Minerals, Dele Alake, followed him. Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, was on that trip. The Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, followed Mr. President. That of Trade, Dr. Jumoke Oduwole, followed Mr. President. That of Culture and Creative Economy, Hanatu Buswa, followed Mr. President. Communication, Bosun Tijani, followed Mr. President. The Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, Bianca Ojukwu, followed Mr. President. The Chief of Defense Staff and Minister of Defense, General Christopher Musa, followed Mr. President. And also the National Security Advisor, Malam Nur Badu, followed Mr. President. The Director General, National Intelligence Agency, followed Mr. President. In total, there are about, how many? I think it should be about 17. There are about 17 in total that followed Mr. President. These are the official ones anyway. But it tells you the amount involved. Somebody asked me the other day that the flight cost going to UK, Nigeria will bear it. But the hotels where these people will be staying while the official visit is on, UK will bear the cost. But immediately after this visit, some of them that may want to stay back in UK for one day or the other, because I know they may be your one day, they will bear that cost. But the flights, even the Mr. President private jet, that Airbus will contain all of them. The cost of either the fueling, where they have the flight or the craft will be at the airport, the hangar, the Nigerian government will shoulder those costs. The one the UK government will shoulder will be that of hotel accommodation, feeding, and all that. Even the return flight one, they will still be, the Nigerian government will bear it. Okay,
let's go for this very commercial break. Once we return, we are going to open the phone lines to entertain your call. Stay with us.
Udala Radio 104.75.
Udala Radio.
See everybody come on.
Hear this.
Wait a minute. My name is Udala Radio
104.7.
Quality bread, Wendy's bread. For your family breakfast, Wendy's bread. I'll pack it and they just yellow, Wendy's bread. Mama, papa, they like Wendy's bread. Kitchen and Wendy's bread. Even children, they like Wendy's bread. Oh, Wendy's bread. Wendy's bread. Get the better tasty, we go sweet your belly. Wendy's bread. Wendy's your bachijama. Wendy's bread.
Wendy's bread, tasty bread. You can contact us on our official address, Second Business Park, Enugu Road, GRA, beside Misha, Anambra State. We also have another branch at St. Michael Plaza at Tandy Road. Also contact us on 070-1149-1571. Wendy's bread, your tasty bread.
Wendy's bread.
Onitsha, una don ready for the biggest Easter shutdown. Golden Promise Entertainment presents Easter Golden Fiesta. One massive night of music, comedy, and correct vibes. It happens Sunday, April 12, 2026 from 5 p.m. till dawn for Onitsha Mall ShopRite. Host for the night, MC Nim and MC Feargod. Music policy by Emmy Black, Ivado, and Sparkle T. Laughter with comedians like Twin Parrots, Prince Neche, 5 Naira, Dibia Update, Holy Baba, and Sister Equitos. Plus live performances from Mweze and CJ Ozugo, and DJs who will keep the party hot all night. DJ Staffy, DJ Y Barrel, DJ Two Step, DJ Tony Banks, DJ Freezy, and DJ NK. Tickets to go fast. Regular 2,000 Naira, VIP 5,000 Naira, VVIP table for 5, 200,000 Naira. For sponsorship, bookings, and enquiries, call 0814-394-2802 or 0808-441-5156. Easter Golden Fiesta, the party we on nature will talk about. Supported by Udala Radio 104.7 FM.
I want to hear no the latest where they happen. So better pro open, don't enter for town. You want to upgrade your car, it day in town. For motorway get accident, you go make and tam. I will say it is that first in everything we do, and they deliver worldwide. This not the latest update when I get for you. If your motor spoil and you want to fix some more, if you want to repair some motor, no power open the run no more. No man again. If I'm a financial, go manaka. And you put your Toyota, they go power off Nanyo. Maybe I'm again or the Pantata can kick off. You keep repent motor, or motor will accident. You tell Toyota power off. I know to not have a motor number or officer or Toyota bus stop along Owe Road. For more inquiry, why not Calapentia 090-1100-2200. Angelo Tolo the best.
Time na money Onitsha ndị nwe ahịa nke a bụ ụzọ anyị si asị unu daluo maka ọmarịcha otu afọ nke nzikọrịta ozi Udala Radio dị otu afọ n'ọnwa Maachị a. N'ọnwa Maachị a niile Udala nwere onyinye pụrụ iche maka ịgba afọ ọhụrụ a. Ịzụta advert slot abụọ inwe otu mgbakwunye onyinye n'efu. Ịnụrụ nke ọma, ohere nke mgbasa ozi ahịa ozi ọbụla maọbụ nke program ekwu ụgwọ nweta ohere abụọ anyị agbakwunyere gị otu. Nke a bụ ohere ị nwere ime ka ndị Onitsha n'obodo ndị ọzọ nụ ma mara maka ahịa gị. Gbata ọsọ ozugbo n'ihi ohere ọpụrụ iche a malitere ugbu a ma bụrụ nke ga-abịa n'isi njedebe n'ụbọchị nke 31 n'ọnwa Maachị nke afọ a n'ọnwa mgbakwunye afọ Udala. Maka ndebanya na ajụjụ kpọọ anyị na 0803-350-4206 maọbụ bịa n'ụlọ ọrụ anyị dị n'Onitsha na nọmba 5 Okono Street n'okirikiri DMGS Roundabout. Ya bụ inwe ike ịkpọ anyị na 0803-350-4206 maọbụ bịa n'ụlọ ọrụ anyị na nọmba 5 Okono Street n'okirikiri DMGS Roundabout Onitsha. Udala Radio emeela otu afọ n'ọnwa Maachị a. Ọkpọkọpi n'ezie.
Here is a special invitation. Oluchukwu Microfinance Bank Limited Onitsha warmly invites you to her Customers Forum 2026. This year's powerful theme is Savings Culture, a necessity for business stability. Are you a trader, an entrepreneur, a business owner? Then this forum is specially designed for you. Join us on Wednesday, 19th March 2026 at Bethany House, number 1 Akko Street, Onitsha, close to Holy Rosary Hospital, Waterside. And also on Wednesday, 1st April 2026 at Madonna Parish, Nobi. Time is 10 a.m. prompt. Come and discover how building a strong savings culture can secure your business, strengthen your financial future, and guarantee long-term stability. Plus, enjoy insights from financial experts and connect with fellow business owners. And don't forget, download the Oluchukwu MFB app today on Google Play Store. Oluchukwu Microfinance Bank, your dream is here. This is signed management.
nnukwu mmọnwụ abatago n'ọgbọ, nnukwu ijele nọ n'ọgbọ. Kedu ife anyị na-ekwu maka ya? It is the Curenza Curative Herbal Capsule, a product of SmartPay Global Concept Limited. It is a powerful herbal formula crafted to support your immune system and overall wellness. 100% natural with ultra advanced immune support. The natural power which enables your body to fight chronic diseases. It also looks at digestive disorders. Curenza na afụ maka igwo ulcer, addresses arthritis, diabetes, cancer, kidney and liver issues, cures asthma, malaria, typhoid, heart diseases, hepatitis, sickle cell anemia, cholesterol, addresses colon issues, obesity and cardiovascular diseases. It is for total body detoxification and it also addresses poor blood circulation. For more information and distributorship, you can kindly go visit our office at Obebuleze Plaza, number 154 Oka Road by Ado Girls Bus Stop, opposite Anyama Cooking Gas Station on Onitsha. To become a distributor of this powerful product, Yabundi Cholibu Distributors Maka Ogu Nkanka or Curenza. Visit the office at Obebuleze Plaza, number 154 Oka Road by Ado Girls Bus Stop, opposite Anyama Cooking Gas Station on Onitsha, or call the phone number 08060752900. 08060752900. It is the Curenza, the king of herbs, and it is in your land.
From the commercial city of Onitsha comes Udala Radio 104.7 FM, the voice of the region. Where authentic news and entertainment meet. Udala Radio 104.7 FM. Seriously authentic.
Are you tired of living with pain, stress, or sleepless nights? It is time to experience true healing the natural way at Dr. Lilong Wellness Center. At Dr. Lilong Wellness Center, we combine traditional Chinese medicine (TCM), physiotherapy, and massage therapy to help your body heal, relax, and recover naturally. Whether it is stroke, arthritis, insomnia, prostatitis, or high cholesterol, our expert therapists are here to guide you towards a healthier, pain-free life. From full body massage to sub-health therapy, we bring balance and vitality back to your system because at Dr. Lilong Wellness Center, your wellness is our priority. Visit us today at number 18 Angel Toby Street, Toby's Bus Stop, opposite Church Gate Pharmacy, Maryland Estate, Oyolo 33, or call 0806 075 2900. 0806 075 2900. Get your health back to 100% by simply booking a reservation at Dr. Lilong Wellness Center 33, your home of total wellness and recovery.
Radio 104.7 FM. Seriously authentic.
You're listening to the Polity. Get involved now.
Okay, thank you for staying tuned to Udala Radio 104.7 FM. You are listening to the Polity, and it's time for us to take your course now. My name is Franklin Bekatoni Olisambeki on the analysis desk. The studio lines are 0803-221-6973 or 0803-827-6694, and I implore you to just take a minute to make your submission. Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Hello.
You're welcome. Please go on.
Yeah. Good morning.
You're welcome.
My name is Prince. I'm calling from Onitsha.
Go on.
Yeah, I want to make a comment on issue of alignment, political alignment.
Go on, sir.
You see, according to Dr. Mbeki, he was actually right. The way our Igbo nation used to play politics is not normal. In politics, for you to gain something from the top, you have to show interest. Then when you are feeling that you are stubborn, that you can't bend, you'll be losing. So it is very important that we should divide our head. if it can lead to a kind of think tank discussion, let some people intentionally join APC and let some people intentionally do it other way around, so that we could be able to benefit and not lose entirely. Because in politics, the winner takes it all. But that does not mean that we will not fight for our interests, maybe producing our own presidential candidate. But we have to have alternative approach to all of them.
All right, thank you.
That's what I want to say this morning.
Thank you for joining us today. Hello. Okay. 0803-221-6973 or 0803-827-6694. Good morning.
Thank you. Good morning.
Yes, good morning. Welcome on board.
This is Speaker Tony Beck. Good morning.
You're welcome. It's good to have you, my brother.
Thank you very much. This is Honorable Monday Johnson. I'm calling in from Onitsha this morning.
Go on, Monday Johnson.
Mr. Speaker Tony Becky, I want to know in the inauguration that took place yesterday, you told us when you were reporting here yesterday that the Vice President was there and other dignitaries. I also heard that the Governor of Owerri, Imo State, was there also.
Yes.
Knowing that the President administration under Tinubu is directly or indirectly, exhibiting this hostility against opposition parties in Nigeria. Knowing also that Apoga is also one of the opposition parties. But this, relationship and friendship that exists between Apoga under Soludo and the government of Nigeria, APC under Tinubu. Please, can you please tell us, as eroded and seasoned analysts, where this friendship is pointing at?
No, okay, so is it the friendship between the state government and federal government? Is that what you're asking?
I think, partly, the state government represents the government of Apoga. So, both the government of Apoga and the Soludo, where is this friendship with Tinubu? Where is it pointing out?
Okay.
Then I want to know this, just very something.
All right.
I will ask this question now. Mr. Speaker, you said that the president cannot cancel his scheduled appointment with the UK government because of what happened in Nigeria.
I didn't say so. You didn't hear me very well. I didn't say so.
Okay.
If you want me, I will rephrase it very well. You didn't hear me very well.
Franklin asked that question. He put that question across to you.
All right,
then I want to know from you, please.
Okay.
Because knowing the primary purpose of government, the welfare of the people, is that perhaps not enough for the president to cancel that appointment he had with UK?
All right.
Good morning.
Okay. Thank you. That is going to be addressed. Let's see if we can take more calls before we're out of time. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Franklin.
Yes, good morning. Your name?
You're welcome.
Good morning. I'm Anthony Necheta. I'm calling this morning from Onitsha.
Go on, Mr. Anthony.
I want to say commendations and congratulations to the governor on his second term inauguration yesterday that was created with many dignitaries. And for some who are interested why the P2B, His Excellency, was absent. For me, I think his absence was understandable for me because of his principle of decorum. Because in retrospection, several events where the governor and the former presidential candidate of the Labour Party, in the events where both of them attended or greeted, it has become obvious that people usually steals the show. And what happened with David Gold when many people were even trying to jump with him, I think it will be also evident if Mr. Peter Obi will come in that light. So for him to send a message, congratulatory message for him, I think it is understandable. It's called self-mastery. So, but for me, the inauguration speech, I was taken aback in some point because when he was talking about the gigantic white elephant project of the airport, I began to ask myself as an Anambrarian, what is the yearnings of the Anambrarians now? For me, I thought that the second tenor, before that is coming, that this decentralization of electricity to states, I think the citizens are paying through their nose and bearing the brunt. I was expecting my governor
please
to
summarize, please.
channel more on how to bring power supply, maybe electricity in Anambra, and even the cost that people are paying through their nose. Even meter sharing now, free meter sharing now is no longer in vogue because of the challenge.
My dear friend, we have to let you go at this point in time. Please try to understand us because we're out of time. We have a lot to attend to. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning. Your name?
Okay, I'm Rabbi. Over.
Okay, please take 1 minute, please. Go on.
My take this morning, talking about the inauguration of our governor, I congratulate him for the second time. I wish him a very good ride on this tenor. But my take here is where the Anthony Becky was still about comparing with the left foot. You can't compare with the left foot. Left foot is just very terrorism is personal. And Abia has been under his rule for almost 40 years. And this young man, this came here and take out their state. Change their state overnight. You can't compare him with something else. You know, I think we need projects in Anambra like this year is not work, just a critical work. Premier is not work. So we need industries to get the electricity. Tell more on those things that will impact us. Because I'm an artisan. It's like, if I tell how much I am spending for fuel to buy my machinery, it's costing me, and the government will tax it again. If you focus on these things, we need those things that help us.
All right. Thank you very much. So let's go to our Facebook page now and see some of the reactions. Communion Okeke says, he posted from Ojo. He says, please, I want to understand something. Our governor went for Thanksgiving on Sunday, skipped Monday, and was sworn in on Tuesday. Why is this so? Communion.
I don't know. People have been.
That's crass ignorance.
But maybe there are those who may share such ignorance. The truth is, Anambra Inauguration Day is always static on 17th
March.
Even if that 17th is on Sunday, it will be held. On Monday, it will be held. And the interdenominational service, the one that was held last Sunday, was to mark the completion of the first 4 years. Then you have inauguration on Tuesday. There will be Thanksgiving for the inauguration coming up this Sunday. I'm aware of that one.
So John Number says a PO was not in the event because he could have been humiliated the same way the Obi of Onitsha was allegedly treated with derision and indifference. Imagine not recognizing a revered monarch like the Obi of Onitsha. So he now says if a monarch of this status could be treated with indifference in that event, you can imagine what would have happened to PO. So it says that Anambra State is the weakest point in the political chain of Ndebo. Anoms Amy says, okay, so he said Tony didn't answer a question regarding the Obi of Onitsha not being recognized at the event by the governor.
I answered that.
Then he also talked about Anambra not being the only state with free education up to SS3. He mentioned Akwa Ibom State here. Then Sebastian Abigwe, I'm trying to see how I can abridge what some of you posted because he posted a long thing. So I'll just go straight to your question. You said the question you have for Tony is this: can you tell us where the governor has gotten it wrong in the past 4 years? And he's asking, are you the spokesperson to ABGA or just a member of the party? And then what else is he asking? the third question, I'm not going to read the third question, honestly. Eke Gona says, CAF and his judgments, they are disgrace to Africa. I thought in football, the referee has the final answer regarding anything that happened in the pitch. Francis Omagan Namani, watching from Amagunze in Enugu State, says, a government should prioritize the issue of security and improve standard of living rather than shifting more attention to 2027 general elections. And the Dandola says, he posted from Awada. So he's saying, please, however, Chief Tony Olisambeki analyzes Soludo's administration is okay. After all, he's from Anambra State. Now he said, nevertheless, Soludo is doing a great job. We don't need another airport. Please, what we need now is seaport. Onitsha is a commercial city and we need it so badly. And he is congratulating the governor for his next for his second term, which of course began yesterday. And this might be the last one because we have some questions to attend to. Comrade Henry Elu writes from Show Light on the channel. He says, I disagree with Tony. The present political predicament of Ndibo has nothing to do with alignment to North. Though the civil war has long ended, but Nigeria is still at war with the Southeasterners politically. Okay, and he says, what difference has the long alignment of Ojizo Kalu, Rochas Okorocha, Krisingi and Co. done to their various states respectively? And then he says, Tony, why was Mr. P2B not invited by Governor Soludo? If there is time, please tell us how. Okay, please tell us his reasons of not inviting him, because you seem to be very close to the governor. So let's attend to the questions.
All right, let me
2 minutes.
Okay, 2 minutes
for every question.
All right, let me begin with the issue of Obi of Onitsha. He was recognized yesterday. During the governor's inaugural speech, he recognized him. I don't know why some people are flying the news that Obi of Onitsha was not recognized. If you would give me time, but you said there's no time, I would have even quoted the governor verbatim. I was there. But those who were not there will tell you was not recognized. That is by the way. And I know those who are fanning this ember. There will never be an ember of disunity. Obi of Onitsha was there. He was duly recognized. That is one. What other question? Somebody talked about free education in Akwa Ibom. Akwa Ibom collects 10,000 naira for development fee. Yes, the free education was started by Goswell Akpabio in 2009. Subsequent governors have also continued with that free education mantra from primary to secondary school, but you must pay development fee 10,000. For me, because you have to pay development fee of 10,000, it's no more free for me. In Anambra said don't pay any fee. I said Anambra remains the only state in Nigeria that practices free education without any hidden charge, nothing like development fee. There's another question. Somebody said we don't need another airport. Many of us wallow in ignorance. I think the best question would be, this airport the need for the airport. You can't just sit in your house and say we don't need airport. The airport is for the Anambra in what do you call it? Because we have a project, industrial project we call AMIC, Anambra Misuse Industrial City. That is where the airport would also be. And this very Miss Industrial City will sit on about 4,000 hectares of land. Look at the industries that will spring up. These industries are going to be established there. The pharmaceuticals, the automobile assembly, Anambra Agana Luzimoto, the textiles, the mineral benefit. In fact, even the lead, gold, kaolin, some of these things, even the residential zone, an export emporium, man, incentives under the special economic zone. How can you have these industries? Look at the industries. 4,000 hectares of land. Then you say there is no need for airport around that place.
Where is it going to be sited?
Orumba.
Yeah, I think it's important we mention
Orumba. No. See, that is the plan. Do you know how many conglomerates, many of them will be coming back from Ogun? From Lagos, they have given their words. Contracts have been signed. They are relocating to Anambra State. And they also asked that some of these facilities be close to that very area. And somebody will sit down and say, we don't need this.
All right. So,
you don't know what that would be.
At this point, we have to vacate. We have to end the program at this point in time because we're out of time. So we thank every one of you for all your contributions. Those who couldn't read here their messages, we are quite sorry because there were some commercials that were not foreseen, so they came to interfere. But we are quite sorry for that. So please, Nagidai, all right. So thank you everyone for listening. My name is Franklin Ebuka. Good morning.